Greetings, beloved beings of light. Happy full buck moon in Aquarius today. We have some massive, powerful energies coming in with these galactic, celestial, astronomical alignments here on the new Earth. Welcome to the sanctuary of the Eagle and the Condor and to our new channel, Eagle and the Condor. So I want to discuss some of these very auspicious and some of the most powerful astrological alignments in the heavens, and then tell you a couple stories of the new Earth. So I'm going to try to keep this under 30 minutes so I can get this out to you today. It is the 29th. We have 1111 code coming in, and of course this powerful Aquarius full moon today is bringing in this Aquarian energy of the new age, of the new Earth. So I'm going to ring my dragon bells here 3 times to create sacred space and to help you anchor into this now moment, into your physical vessel. So allow your awareness into the lower Dantian as I ring the bell. Also, happy Guru Purnima. In the Hindu tradition, this is in gratitude and celebration of all our teachers, our guides, our sifus, our gurus, our leaders of the new Earth, and our spiritual leaders, our senseis, roshis, sifus, and all of our teachers and wayshores and guides of our new heaven upon the new Earth. Happy Guru Purnima. Bring your awareness into the middle Dantian, heart chakra. Go into whatever rises up and whatever you're feeling. Now in upper Dantian, crystal palace in the center of the brain. Open up the third eye, crown, allow the energy to flow in freely. I wanted to show you real quick, we're having another very spectacular, gorgeous day here in the sanctuary of the Eagle and the Condor in the Pacific Northwest. We're right on the Ring of Fire. The Ring of Fire is totally lit up and totally activated. We have massive energies. This is the 3rd day in a row with whiteout patterns in the Schumann resonance. It keeps rising up today. It reached up to 98 hertz, very close to the 99, which would have pushed us into 9th dimensional energy. We have the 9 gates, the 9 portals, the 9 caves of the brain, the crystal palace in the center of those 9, the 369 times 11, 99, 99 10 degree. These are the thunder beings in our thunder nation coming in. So massive energies, with the heartbeat of Mother Earth of Schumann resonance up to 98 hertz, another whiteout, 3 days in a row of total whiteout on the Schumann charts, and more solar flares coming in. And yesterday we had that very massive, powerful 7.1 with 6.8 to 7.1 earthquake in Japan. This is on the Ring of Fire, new Lemurian energy rising up. I wanted to show you real quick. I'm going to move you over here to, I showed you the other day, our daughter's rose, the first rose. Take a look at this. Let's see if we can get this on the camera here. This huge bloom. Let's see, it's so bright out I can barely see. There we go. So you can see here this beautiful, still blooming, only 1 rose. This is the first rose of this this bush here, this rose bush that we got for our daughter. And the rose is almost as big as the whole bush. They're beautiful. If you saw the video the other day, you'd see how magnificent that rose was in the garden. So let's move to some more, bring some codes in of this, the solar. I have massive solar rays coming in, solar energy. I'll move to a different spot here. Our little garden here in front of the blackberry vines here, the blackberry bushes. Actually, we're right, and I want you to get some of these codes from Solaris today. Let's see if we can bring these crystalline codes in. We're a little crooked here. Let's try. There we go. The ground's a little crooked. So you'll see some of these rainbow codes coming in, rainbow body activations. You see, these are crystalline codes from our higher dimensional, infinite creator source. So we have this powerful full moon. We also have very auspicious, this is some very rare astrology going on in the heavens above, synchronizing. This is in synchronicity with our great awakening and great shift of the ages. So Leo season, we're in Leo season right now, as you all know. The lion energy is flowing in. The lion, the core leon, heart of the lion. And also a few days ago, the nodes of the moon shifted into the axis of Aquarius and Leo. Today, the sun in Leo, we also have Jupiter in Leo, the planet of expansion and awakening. In Leo, the lion, this is a heart activation, so keep the heart open for these great transformations we're going through. And the south node in Leo, the north node in Aquarius, so the south node is the past. So the lion, the courage of the lion, is activating all our star seeds to release the past, to let go of all trauma, all pain of the past, and even ancestral trauma, ancestral curses, all these things, anomalies, and Aquarius of the future. And we're also in the age of Aquarius. So the precession of the equinoxes moves backward through the zodiac. So the last 2,000 years or more, the age of Pisces, and we have shifted into the age of Aquarius. And this is all synchronistic with what's going on astrologically and on the new earth. So we have the Leo sun and the Jupiter Leo and the south node in Leo. And this is all going to lead up. We're also that powerful energy of the Sirius Stargate, the heliacal rising a couple days ago as we entered the Lion's Gate passageway on the 26th. And as you all know, this will culminate on the 8/8, August 8th portal. So this will lead into the 8/8 Lion's Gate. So the next week or two are going to be very intense, very powerful. I know many of you are feeling it today. On my journeys today, I felt this energy of the collective of, shifting from bliss and elation and joy into chaos, and also feeling intense energies, and also some conflict, some very sensitive conflict going on in the collective of humanity. So we're navigating through all these energies. So this will lead us through the Lion's Gate. Right now I feel, especially this energy coming from the sun is very powerful and intense, pulsing these higher rays. I feel it in my skull, and expansion, third eye expansions, pressure in the skull, throughout the day, many shifting energies. And one of the stories I like to tell you, I've been trying to put out a video on this channel for the last 3 days since the Galactic New Year, and I went up north to try to get to Mount St. Helens. With Shasta energies coming in today, a lot of synchronicities with Shasta and Telos and the new Lemuria. But several days ago, we went through a massive timeline shift, and I got lost a couple times and ended up, I'll tell you a couple stories here after trying to stay congruent as possible and coherent as possible. We're jumping many timelines right now. So the 8/8 Lion's Gate portal will be leading us then to the total solar eclipse on the 12th, which will also be in Leo. And then at the end of the month, it will be, I think the 28th, 29th will be the lunar eclipse, which will be in Aquarius. So we have all this Aquarian and Leo energy for the next couple weeks. Very powerful, very intense. So although Aquarius is the water bearer, it is an air sign. So the air and the fire, what does air do? The winds stoke the flames. So this is all going to work together. And also with the yang fire horse, the yang is the masculine, and the fire energy, which is the heart energy and the 5 elements of the Taoist philosophy. So for the next couple weeks, just keep anchoring in, stay hydrated, stay conscious, stay in a state of mindfulness. All these things, anchor into the earth, bare feet on the earth helps. Get in the water. The water, the feminine energy will help calm the flames and the heat and the fire. This is a shamanic initiation. And we're right on this threshold, this energy coming in. In the Toltec tradition, the shamanism we call Nawal. The Nawal is the unknown. So we're right on this precipice and standing on the abyss, at the edge of this abyss for our quantum leap into the Nawal, which is our second attention, the unconscious, the superconscious mind, or, our higher self, which is part of the unknown, the unknown energy, which is becoming known, and then there's beyond that, the unknowable. We call the great mystery, Wakantanka and Lakota Sioux. 144 coming in right now, this code, this energy, as we're transmitting this power of the sanctuary, the eagle and the condor to all of you out there, all over the world. You are conduits of the Holy Spirit, the Great Spirit calling in our highest timeline. So we're doing this. We've prepared over many timelines. We've all prepared our whole life for right now, for this time that we are in, of this great shift of the ages, and all of these celestial events and earth changes, all these things together, with the earthquakes and the volcanoes releasing tons of energy, and these solar flares, all of these together, the Schumann resonance spiking, they're all signs, omens, and symbols of this great awakening, of this great shift. Victory is of the light. Love always wins. So we have the Aquarius full moon. Just want to go over this to make sure I've covered the bases here. I got to wrap this up here soon so I can get this out to all of you. We're going through these massive accelerations in time. So every day is getting away from me. We're going through these time anomalies and losing time. The other day on the Galactic New Year was crazy, very, very crazy energy. And I went through a major timeline shift, and it took all of my chi to get back to my sacred Condor. She went south as I went north, 2 separate missions to anchor in. And I wanted to shoot a video up in St. Helens, but I got totally lost. My GPS quit working, my signal was lost, and I ended up in a very strange portal, and then got lost a couple more times and ended up at Happy Valley, but it totally changed. So these glitches in the matrix and these timeline shifts, let us know in the comments, what you're experiencing, what you're seeing, what's happening with you. And please like this video, leave a comment, share this with your teams. We're trying to build this channel since we got demonetized on most of our social media sites and on YouTube. So I'm trying to start this new channel from scratch. So I appreciate all of you that are subscribing and sharing this work, and hopefully we can get monetized on this video or on this channel soon to keep this thing going. And thank you everyone that sent your donations and joined us on Patreon. We're slowly building that back up to be able to. My main mission right now is every day to get out the daily transmission, and these videos will just be extra when I can do them. But like I said, every day is getting away from me, so I'm losing track of time and down to the wire. This is it, beloved beings of light. It is happening, this great ascension and this great shift of the ages. So today on a journey, real quick, I want to tell you a beautiful new earth story that happened several nights ago. Our daughter finally got her license. She's 17 years old, so we wanted to celebrate. And I said, we'll take you out to dinner, which we rarely ever go because money's tight and it's very expensive raising 3 children up here in the Pacific Northwest, which you all know, like these times are crazy indeed. So we conserve money as best as we can so we just wanted to celebrate. So I said, wherever you want to eat. So our daughter wanted sushi, and we're like, yeah, we like sushi too. And there's an amazing sushi place in town. So we said, let's go. And we went there, and when we walked in, there was a couple, man and woman, sitting across from us. And I just glanced at them on the way in and smiled. And we sat down, didn't say any words. And we had an amazing meal. And one of our sons came with us. And the 4 of us, my sacred Condor, our daughter, our son, and myself, had a beautiful meal and had a great time and a lot of laughs and that, and enjoyed the food. Was phenomenal. And as we finished up and got ready to pay, the woman, she was Korean. It was a Japanese place, but a Korean woman was serving us our meal, and we said, okay, well, can we please have the check now? And she said, your friends paid for your meal. We said, what friends are that? Really? And it was the couple across from us. They didn't say anything to us. And we were just stunned and amazed. We're like, really? Because, it was like $130 altogether when it was all said and done, and they just paid. And I saw them walking out, and they just smiled to us, which was like 10 minutes before we went to pay. And we were having trouble understanding the woman because she spoke broken English, and she said, your friend pay, and we didn't, at first we thought that she wanted us to pay for them. So we're like, what's going on? And she like put this X, like X, you don't have to pay, and it was very strange because earlier that day I also got demonetized on X, so I was like contemplating maybe we shouldn't go out to dinner after this abomination and that, but that was just a sign from the Great Spirit that we have your back, we got this. And many of you have come through this month, so thank you all very much, and we appreciate you all. We couldn't have made it this far, you've been supporting us for the last 6 years since I moved out here, and some of you have been with us over 15 years, but I started the Patreon about 6.5 years ago, so, right now, half of our income comes from Patreon, the other half from donations and that. So thank you all, our benefactors out there. You know who you are. We appreciate you, and we're seeing this through. We're seeing I'm getting so much intel every day about the awakening and this RVGCR and the shift and just many, many things spiritually and physically. The wealth transfer is right on the precipice of, the humanitarian funds coming through. Every day I'm getting so much. I can't keep up with all the information and intel that's coming through, of many channels that I work with and many people. Let me move out of the sun. I'm getting cooked with these rays. Getting intense and very blinding. Gotta get back into the shade here to finish this up. Whew, that's getting pretty hot too. So it's very nice in the shade right now. So I know the background is very bright with the shady areas here, but let me situate this so I can finish this up. So we were blown away that, it's just total strangers, just out of their kindness, and gifted us this amazing thing. And then the woman told us, so let me at least give you a tip. So I gave her a tip, and she was very happy that we did that. And she said, it's my birthday today. It was her birthday. This is like 5-6 days ago. And she gave me a big hug, and then she hugged our son, and then, we did like a big group hug, and we were all laughing, and she was very, very sweet and, very kind. And she said some Korean, and our son, who has his black belt in Taekwondo, spoke, I forget what it was, Sopatika or something like that. Thank you very much in Korean. He knows just a little bit from a couple years of training, and he got his black belt a couple years ago and then got into some other things. So it was amazing. We're all like on cloud 9, like we couldn't believe it. It's just a beautiful sign of this new earth energy coming in, and people coming together and supporting each other, and it's very symbolic of these times of great change. And then today, on a journey. This is the last story, and I'm going to end this here in a few minutes so I can edit this and get it out to you today on this most auspicious full moon. It's the full buck moon in Aquarius, the water bearer in this age of the fifth dimensional Aquarian age. And Aquarius is humanitarian efforts and service to humanity and all these things. So it's all symbolic. Every day I see a new beauty here at the sanctuary, the eagle and the condor. And yesterday I was very stoked because I saw my first praying mantis of the year. And I thought to myself, if you watched the videos last year, at the last days of fall into winter, there was a beautiful, amazing praying mantis that hung out with me for 7 days in a row out just outside our home here. And I just thought for a moment maybe this was one of her offspring, and he was a few inches long already and the most vibrant green color I've ever seen on a mantis. So I'm going to try to find him again. It was late at dusk, so I couldn't get any good pictures of him, but I'm going to try to find him again to get some videos and pictures. Hopefully he'll come back. He's hiding. I looked for him today, and he either moved on or is hiding somewhere, so hopefully I'll see him again to be able to get you some beautiful pictures. So another quick story, I'm part of when I was journeying up to St. Helena, the bright light, the bright virtue, the volcano up north there, a beautiful mountain. I stopped at, some of you know Happy Valley, that I've transmitted some gnosis, some teachings at this beautiful valley that I eventually in the future would like to buy some land, to start our kin's domain in this Happy Valley. And I've been there many times over the last 6 years, and I've filmed there multiple times and hiked all in this area. It's right at the top of this valley. You come from the bottom and drive up to the top, and there's only one spot you can pull off in this valley. I've been there many times, hiked it many times in the last 6 years, but on the day of the galactic New Year, on the 26th, it totally changed. I didn't even recognize the place, and I went on the way up to Helen's. I stopped there and hiked down. I didn't recognize it, and it's the only place on the side of the road that you can even pull off. I've been back and forth many times from the bottom to the top and back down the other side of the valley, and there's a couple homes along the way, and in between two of the homes is this spot that I looked it up on the maps, the government maps of who owns land, and that the government owns it. So I know, it's vacant land potentially that I might be able to purchase in the future once the RV happens, the GCR, the revaluation of currency and that, and the Clarity Act goes through all these things and the wealth transfer. But I was in this land. It was very strange. I felt very peculiar, very off. And I thought, wow, we definitely went through a different timeline. I got many signs and symbols on that day, like very strange things, and I barely recognized the place. It was like there was last time I went there, and every time before it was the same trees, the same distance from the road to the edge of the cliff overlooking the valley, and it was like half the distance from the road to the edge, and the trees looked very different. And so I left. I thought, well, maybe I just didn't go far enough, and I would just want to get out, out of town and get up to Helen's and take on her beautiful healing energy. I was feeling very off, and heart palpitations and intense energies flowing in, and just need the earth and get away, get to the waters. There's some beautiful waters by there, and so I thought on the way back, let me check it out again. I'll go back and forth the whole way. So I went from the top to the bottom, and yep, it's the only place you can pull off. So I pulled off again, thinking, well, maybe I was out of it. Same thing. It was like a totally different place. Totally shift. So I felt very strange. I mean, maybe in the future I'll go back there and see if a lot of things were overgrown, but the main tree that I filmed at was gone. So I did these strange shifts and timeline leaps, and things are really amping up and getting very intense. So let us know what you're experiencing. Just heard a creature. It sounded like humming up in this tree. The other night we were sitting inside, and right outside our window was an owl hooting at us. It was amazing. I came out to try and find him, but he disappeared. So we have, we're out in the country now, so we're surrounded by beautiful, it's very peaceful and quiet, unlike the last place. We lived 5 years right on the main road and constant traffic and noise and screaming in the apartment we lived. So now we're very blessed to be out here in the country, and until we can get to our home, we're just leasing the land here. And so today on a journey, I went to pick one of our sons up at a friend's, and I took a different route. And as I was driving along, I saw like a little cardboard sign on the side of the road, and it said koi. And I believe it was like $9 or something. It was like this little piece of cardboard, like it looked like a little kid with crayon wrote it. I couldn't barely read it, but it triggered something in me because I've been wanting, to do a koi pond. About 25 years ago, I had a business for a couple of years making koi ponds and waterfalls, stuff like that. And my sister, she lives out in Amish country in Ohio, Victoria. She came and visited us a few months ago, and I had asked her, I said, how's the koi? I put a koi. She has a huge, like, quarter-acre pond, 15 feet deep. It was man-made. It's beautiful out in nature. It's out in Amish country, like by Paynesville, Ashtabula, like 10 minutes from, like, the Prairie nuclear power plant and that. But I think they call it Amish country. It's like Geauga County and all that out, Ashtabula County, just on the border of PA, Pennsylvania. And she has a beautiful several acres there. And she told me she got her apiary certificate, so she's doing beekeeping now, and she has a little food forest going. So it's amazing. And I asked her, I put a koi in there about 25 years ago, little, and it was getting bigger and bigger. And 6 years ago, last time I visited her on her property, I saw her, and she calls her Goldie. It was like a little pink gold, beautiful koi, and it got huge, massive, and it looks like a little angel. She calls it her angel, and it'll come to her sometimes when she calls, and you can't see it because it's dark, and then it'll just come up to the surface, and its fins are like angel wings, like really long fins that just float in the water, and the sun hits it. It's like a golden pink color, beautiful. So I've had some amazing, beautiful koi over the years, and I had one that was all white, and it had these black markings that looked like a skeleton. It's pretty cool. And then all white with like a red, like a black and red, looked like yin yang symbol. But a raccoon killed him one year. Let this plane fly over here for a second. Like the raccoons, they'll put their fingers like on the water, and the fish think it's food, and they'll come up and they'll grab it and take a bite, and they don't eat it. They don't even like koi, but they'll throw it, and it'll die, suffocate out of the water. It's like that little rascal, chase them off. But 1 year they froze too, my pond. I in my mother's backyard, I dug, created a pond with a beautiful waterfall, and I had water lilies for her and several koi. And in Japan, koi are like pets. You could spend $10,000 on a koi if it's a special breed. So I've been wanting to get some koi again and do a little pond here in the sanctuary. So I'm contemplating it and maybe breed them. I could breed some of the most beautiful. I have connections, with some amazing koi breeders and that. My friend, my old friend from Cleveland, he's doing work in Texas and with a Vietnamese family, and he said they have thousands and thousands of koi. I could have my pick, so I'm really contemplating. I've always loved koi, and koi to the Japanese are, symbolize abundance. So it triggered this feeling like a vision I'm having to, because one day, this sanctuary is temporary. One day we're going to get my sacred content, and I want to get some land and do some permaculture and food forest. We want to start our first kins domain. So I'm having this vision of koi, like a beautiful, massive, like koi pond. And in Japan too, they'll have like outdoor and indoor pond, you know, a pond that goes outside the house and it comes under the frame of the house into like their living room. So, and they feed right out of your hands. And, you know, some of these lineages of these koi go back to, you know, some of the ancient emperors, you know, 200, 300, 400 years ago. So they'll pay thousands and thousands of dollars, you know. So I wanted to go take a look, and I'm, you know, it also interests me because, like, you know, someone that wrote this sign, it's like, are they even trying to make sales? Because you can barely read it, and I wanted to see it. You know, I'm thinking, you know, is this a kid that's trying to, you know, make some money, like a lemonade stand, or is it some old alchemist with a big gray beard? Now it's striked up my curiosity. I have to go meet this person and talk to them, see what they have, you know, and see, you know, I was looking at like a little breeding thing, you know, tank for koi, and to set up in the yard here. And but that maybe I'll make that part of this channel, my next adventure of koi breeding, you know, raising koi and selling koi. You know, we'll see what happens. But you know, goddess willing, I'll do it. But I'll let you know, you know, what I find out. Maybe I'll film some stuff at this little koi place, go there in the next few days when I get a minute, and check it out and see what I can find. I know it's going to be quite an adventure, and, you know, just all the energy coming in. Like, it's been many years since I did ponds and waterfalls and that, and, you know, it was always beautiful, and it was just hard to make a living at it in Cleveland. People just didn't want to spend the money, you know, so I got into other things. And then obviously, if you follow my channel for any time, I had an IT business for 18 years in Cleveland and that. So, you know, I always did things on the side and trained and taught over 33 years with many masters, you know, the Taoist, Buddhist, Hindu, you know, of the East, and brought the teachings to many people over the years. And this is some of the stuff I teach on Patreon, the shamanism, the Taoism, Buddhism. My roots started with Zen Buddhism, but I was into shamanism many years ago. And obviously the New Age has always resonated with me, and crystals and all these things, and beauty and art. And I've always been an artist since as far back as I can remember, you know, and photography and painting and sculpting and all that. So, you know, I've done it all, carving wood and making Native American flutes, and it's just, everything's time consuming. So now my art is the daily transmissions, and the photography still, of course, the nature and wildlife photography I put in the video. So, you know, it's, my queen and I are artists. You've probably heard some of her music on our channel. She has one of the most beautiful voices and one of the greatest musicians, you know, I've ever met. And I've had many friends. My brothers, John is an amazing guitarist, pianist, singer, songwriter, you know, but it's, you know, one of those things, you know, starving artist. So he has a family too. So he's also a master plumber, you know, so that's his livelihood. But he's always inspired me with his music, and we used to jam all the time when I was in Cleveland. And, you know, one of my good buddies, Antonio, master chef, he was one of Van Morrison's guitarists. I always loved Van Morrison, and we befriended many years ago. And back in the 80s and 90s, he was on tour, you know, with Van Morrison. My buddy Antonio, he has a amazing little restaurant in Cleveland. And so, you know, we've always, my queen and I, you know, both musicians, and she's much better than me. You know, I play guitar and, as you know, Native American flute and several other instruments, and sing a little bit. But, you know, my queen has the voice of an angel, you know, and can heal. She heals with her voice and brings great joy and bliss to this world. So I'm going to end that on this note. I'll let you know what I come up with, you know, if I pursue the koi breeding. But it's something that I'm looking into, and would be part of our, you know, homesteading kind of thing, kin's domain. You know, that's my sacred Condor loves the Ringing Cedar books. She's read them all. I think there's like 10, 12 of them. She's read them all like 3 times. She just loves the Anastasia being, the deity. She's a ascended master on Earth, Anastasia, and her people, the Sami or whatever in Siberia, live at one with nature and live in these kins domains where they're stewards of the land and take care of the land, and they have food forests and all these things. I've read a little bit, but she tells me a lot of, my queen, my goddess, my sacred Condor tells me a lot of stuff from the books, has taught me a lot of things from that. And, we have a little food forest back here behind me. There's like hundreds of blackberries right now. I've planted a few things, raspberries too, over there, and a fig tree out front. There's nothing better than a fresh fig right off of the tree, and we have these Himalayan blackberries, hundreds of them behind. I just ate some. They're so sweet right now. They've been ripening in the sun. We've been getting a lot of sun over the last couple of weeks, just getting blazed. So let us know what you're experiencing, what you're feeling. I hope you have the most beautiful, blessed, full buck moon in Aquarius, and have the best day ever. The eagle and the condor love you all. Namaste.
Check out these codes coming in. I don't know how they're going to come out on this video, but we're getting some really amazing codes from the sun here. Open the heart, open the mind. Feel the bliss, feel the joy. These rainbow codes are coming in. Amazing light. Light workers, light keepers, crystal code. Flowing in, flowing in, flowing in. Aho, aho, aho.